Hello. Welcome to Focused, a podcast by yours truly, Farah, aka Forever Music. I have a guest today from the Bay Area. Her name is Acari. She is a musician and a mother, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about her journey and just everything about her today because I want to focus more on women in my life that I have met online or in person. And Akari is one of my, I guess you could say, an online friend because we haven't really met in person yet. But, it's cool to kind of get that opportunity to do it online and link up that way. But hopefully one day we get to meet up. Akari, maybe you can tell us a little bit more about you.
Yeah, well, just kind of going off of what you just said. Yeah, I remember you specifically because I'm constantly looking for Filipino musicians on Instagram and just online in general because I want to see what we're up to, right? And I noticed you had the same birthday as me, and I was like, okay, she's cool. She's instantly cool.
Yeah, hello. And thank you for joining me. I honestly forgot that we were birthday twins.
Yeah, August 27th, right?
I'm 25th. Well, we're
Ah,
we're
shoot.
we're horoscope
Close,
twins.
close.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
close-ish. I'm like the borderline Leo, close to being Leo, but still
Yeah,
a
yeah.
Virgo. Yeah. Do you know your rising sign?
Leo is my rising sign.
Leo? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah.
What's yours?
Mine is Aquarius. I'm a rising Aquarius.
Wait, stop. That's my moon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we're just our big three is just like a jumble of the
Yeah.
same. That's kind of cool.
I feel like we're somehow connected in that way. Like there's always some kind of connection. If you feel like you're like energetically attracted to someone, not in that way, but like you mean like energetically, like you can connect with them in a way where you're like, oh, I can have full conversations with this person. It's just easy and like there's not really any awkwardness. I feel like there's always like the signs somehow connect because your rising or your moon. I don't even know how to explain that. I'll leave that to the horoscope people, the astrologists.
Like our Aquarius parts of us are like just connecting.
Right. Yeah. No,
Yes.
exactly. You were in your home studio. Yeah.
Mhm.
Is this where you record
Yes, this is
everything?
where everything happens.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. What do you have? You have a guitar back there. Is that one of your guitars that you play?
Me and my partner just split this guitar recently.
Oh,
Like
really?
kind of like one
Wow.
of those like impulsive purchases.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
amazing. I love that. I want to maybe just ask you more about your journey because I know that I sort of know you, but I don't know you. So can you share a little bit about your journey of like how you balance, with your passion for music as a because you're an independent artist, right? And
Yeah.
obviously, and I do see you have a baby. So how do you juggle that with the responsibilities of being a parent? And how do you like navigate and find the harmony between the two?
Dude, I'm still figuring it out. Like, I'm still figuring out how to be like a good parent, how to still manage my time, like, and do the music thing. But me and my partner talked about this just last night because I was like feeling a little down on the music thing. I was like, fuck, I feel like there's just so many things going on, and I'm just doom scrolling, and the whole compare and despair thing that you do, where you're just like scrolling online and you see and you compare yourself to other artists. Like it was kind of overwhelming for me. So I asked him, I was like, dude, I think I need like a set amount of time that I could set aside every week to just dedicate like this time and make it intentional just for music. And the thing that was doable for our family and for the both of us was a minimum of 5 hours a week for me. Just like
Mm-hmm.
dedicated time to working on the admin stuff, the just whatever, like getting my calendar organized, working on new ideas, working on current ideas. I told him, I was like, dude, I need like 5 hours a week at least,
That's
but that
good.
yeah, yeah,
Right.
I think I can build with 5 hours a week and it doesn't
Right.
feel too much.
Right. Like an hour a day, 5 days a week. That's doable, right?
Yeah, it doesn't sound
Yeah.
like much, but if you
Mm.
sit down and actually like be intentional with your time and dedicate it to something specific, which I'm still learning and like managing to do, I
Mm-hmm.
think I can get somewhere. You
Right.
know, still be like, still feel like my family is like my priority,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, no, that's great. I feel like there's always something that we all independent artists, especially, need to learn how to do is to learn how to balance your life. It's always like the hardest part is just finding the balance because you're doing everything on your own, right? You don't necessarily have like a big team like someone does when they have a label working behind them. And I totally get that because I've been doing it for the longest time and I've been trying to find balance still to this day. Like, I know I've had a few managers that tried to work with me, but it was hard because I wasn't able to find a balance. And so now I'm self-managing and it still is hard because there's always things that there's other projects that I'm working outside of music that I need to learn how to balance with my music. And I get that. It's imposter syndrome when you look around your peers and you're like, what? They're doing this? What about like, wait, I'm supposed to be doing what I wanted to do. I'm kind of behind. Like, and then you start to look at what you need to do and you kind of start feeling low about yourself. I feel like I've learned how to not compare myself as much. Sometimes it's hard, but learning not to compare yourself as much and like just focusing on your lane and focusing on you, and then try to get back things together. Like, do you have a calendar? I have calendars with an S. Sometimes the one calendar, I can't even, it doesn't like help me. Like, I need to write things down. I need to have post-its. I need to have people to remind me sometimes, like who I'm working with collaboratively. Um, and that's helpful. But I totally get where you're coming from, and especially like you being a mother too. That's a whole job itself, right?
Yeah, and your concept of time as a mom is like, dude, there's no like scheduling shit is crazy. Like if you have like a coffee date like with another mom at a certain time, there's just and they have a kid too, there's dude, it's too much sometimes. Like
Right.
because the
Oh.
schedule runs around like your baby's needs, and that changes
Mm-hmm.
all the time. It's fluid. So
Mm,
yeah, I think
right.
just making it like a practice, like a discipline of 5 hours a week, doesn't matter like when you spread it out,
Mm-hmm.
good enough. Because if I try to do too much, then my mental health suffers, and then I
Right.
start getting imposter syndrome, and I start getting
Yeah.
overwhelmed. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we need like some time management seminar thing for artists, for creatives. I
Yeah.
wish
No. Right? Yeah. That
yeah.
would be great. That would be great. But then again, it's easier said than done. Slowly
Hmm.
but surely, we are always working on ourselves, which is good. Which brings me to the next question too, like self-love. And I know, it is something that sometimes I have, actually not sometimes, but a lot of the times I have an issue with because I'm an overgiver. Like, I give to others more than I give to myself. So when we talk about self-love, it's often, very crucial for us to learn how to maintain and focus and balance. How do you prioritize that, amidst the demands of your music career and your motherhood? Are there any like specific practices or routines that you find helpful?
I'm the same way as you. Like, I'd rather give to somebody else first and put myself like in the back burner and find time for myself a different time. Yeah, which is a quality. I think people call it people pleasing, but I think I've tried to shift my perspective on what that is. I feel like I just approach everything with love, and if like I love you, I'll be there for you. I'll care for you first. Like even if that means like my self kind of suffers, or I guess I see it as a sacrifice. I'm still figuring it out, to be honest, but if I just approach everything like with love, like if like healing you like heals me, helping you like helps me, I've I've noticed like I don't feel as selfish about my time, and like I don't feel as down when I don't get to do the things I want to do. I just kind of redirect it in a way because like my priorities have changed. Like raising my baby and being there for him is like I will always choose that before anything else, and yeah, I don't know how else to answer that. It's just maybe like, yeah, self-care, I'm getting a haircut this month. I haven't had one in years, so
There
that's
you
my
go.
self-care for this month. You
I
know?
love that though. Yeah. When you give
Yeah.
to someone, it gives you love because you feel love from that. That's how I feel too. But it's
Mhm.
good to always get a haircut. Once a year, I try to get my haircut too.
Before I was
You
yeah.
feel so much better after that. I feel like it's like the energy that gets stuck in your hair and like you just snip, snip, snip. And it's just a fresh, new like energy that you feel from it.
Yeah, they say hair holds on to memories. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's what it means. It's kind of like a release, like letting go of it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, no, I know how that is. And I'm trying to be better at giving myself more love and doing the affirmations in the morning, meditating, doing more yoga. Honestly, since I've been traveling last year, it was way too much. It just made me off balance. And I wanted to
Mhm.
get more in balance again because it's harder when you're traveling because you are not at home. You don't have, the same facilities that you do when you're out, in a third world country, especially like it's not the same, right? I'm sure there's
Oh, we're
ways and
good.
different. No, I went to Malaysia. I went to Singapore. I was out in like Turkey. It was in obviously London is not a third world country, but I was in London and then yeah, so I came back, but that was a long trip. And I think it just, it's like the time zone and the way that I was sleeping,
Mm,
it was just like totally off. So when I came back, I was just trying to get back into balance, and that takes a little bit of time. But that's
right.
okay. Slowly but surely, I did a little bit of yoga this morning. And so that's kind of like me giving my body love and care. And even if it's like 15, 20 minutes, I'm like, it's just a start. At least that's
Mhm.
something to start with, right? But yeah, that's good to hear that is what you feel, what self-love is and self-care. But yeah, so anyways, going back to being a musician, I know we do have a lot of focus and dedication that we need to, own in on. And how do you stay motivated and disciplined with like your guitar and your songwriting, especially with like the additional changes and challenges that you have with parenting?
Yeah, for me to feel like I'm mentally okay and for me to feel like I don't have like imposter syndrome, like it's got to be like a daily discipline, like a daily practice. And I've noticed like that looks different now as a mom. Like practice can look different. Like before I would be like, okay, I'm gonna go into the studio and give myself an hour. But sometimes that's just not practical with a little baby. But dude, if I'm singing in the shower, if I'm singing out loud while I'm washing bottles, like as long as I touch a guitar every day, that's a win. Like yeah, like it's the ability to choose like what my wins look like as far as music goes is what's been kind of like keeping me afloat. So like I said, just even just touching a guitar, like having my baby play the guitar with me, like I'm remixing like Baby Shark songs out
I
loud. Like
saw
that's
your
a win.
videos. Those were so cute. It was like, oh my gosh, the song's gonna get stuck in my head. Now I'm watching her video, but it was adorable. Like I saw your the stories that you had put up and the reels, obviously. But yeah, no, that's amazing that you're able to do that and remind yourself of who you are so that you don't lose. I guess you would say you don't lose you,
Yeah.
right?
No, yeah, I know,
Yeah.
I totally know what you mean because being a musician and a parent, like it doesn't have to be like a separate thing. Like I can include like my baby like in the whole like musical
Yeah.
process.
Yeah. And that teaches your baby to who you are as a person, and that will just allow them to kind of just embrace that and be like, "Mommy used to sing to me when we were, back in the
Right?
day." Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine if you were a kid and your parent was like a musician and they kept that part of their life separate from you. I'd be so
Mhm.
sad. Like,
Right. Yeah.
yeah, I
So
wanted to,
true.
uh,
That's
it's
that's
a part of
amazing.
the family.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. That's beautiful. And you guys, you live in the Bay Area, right?
Yeah.
Right. How long have you been living there?
Since I moved from the Philippines in 1990.
Okay, so the same amount of time that I've been living here in Canada, like when we
Oh,
migrated,
okay.
yeah, it was like around the same time. Like, that's amazing. You've never thought of moving away from Bay Area?
Oh, dude, I think about like moving to a different place like all the time.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, "Man, I don't want to live in a different part of the world all the time."
Right.
But I'm here, I love the Bay.
Yeah. I haven't been. I need to go one day. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might love it. Who
Yeah.
knows?
I'll
You
come
know?
visit. I'll come visit because I've been hearing a lot about. I mean, I not have been, but always have been hearing a lot about like the arts community there and like the
Hmm.
music that comes from the Bay Area. It's just so dope that you guys get to enjoy, be able to be around that. So, like, how does that environment like influence your music and your journey as an independent artist? Is there any like specific areas or aspects about the Bay Area culture that kind of shapes your creative process?
I'd definitely like to be more involved. I think it's just like there's so many talented people that are from here. It's like insane. And there's this like pool of people that are creatives who are like kind and willing to help because it fuels their creativity too.
Hmm.
And it's just awesome to be kind of like a student and just learn like all these things like from other creatives like from the Bay because it seems like music is a side hustle for people here, because it's so expensive to live in the Bay Area.
Hmm.
But
It's the
it's like
same here.
everyone's still finding the time to like get out there and make music and build communities like for creatives. And I'm over here still just like trying to figure my shit.
I
I'm just
think
lucky to
everyone
be,
is.
yeah, to have
Right.
creative friends that are just willing to work on stuff. Shout out
Right.
my friend Lily, Phil Malicious. She's part of the like first DJ Bay Area Ladies Club, who is mentored by DJ Cutso from Finger
Nice.
Bangers. Ray Resurrection has been like such an impactful like mentor kind of like friend in a way for me and just like other San Jose musicians. Yeah, there's just so many people, not just like musicians, like people who want to do like film and photography. Like my friend Miles does photography, and everyone's just trying to do their own thing and collaborate, which is nice.
It's always great to have creatives like that around you. So it doesn't,
Mhm.
even if you're like you going through a block, right? It just inspires you to keep motivated. And you're like, okay, I'll
Yeah,
come back around it. I'll just be around and just kind of like, be that student, right? And just
yeah,
watch, and support the people that you have around you because that's also important, supporting one another. And the fact that because of the culture in the Bay Area, it's always been there. Like the music community has always been there. And the fact that, you mentioned it is expensive to live there, like it is in Vancouver too. But at least the community is a lot tighter and, there is a community like that. So I feel like that's something that is a positive side of living in an expensive city ish, I guess you could say. I don't know how much more expensive it is like compared to Vancouver, but I know I've been hearing LA is the same thing too. People are complaining about that too, but it is the recession and the inflation with prices everywhere. We can't really get away from it yet. Hopefully we'll be able to sustain ourselves with just making music.
yeah, dude. Just
But
being a musician in itself is expensive. All the
mhm,
gear that you need and like studio time and like lighting and all this other stuff. It's just being a musician in itself is expensive. So, but it's an
mhm,
investment in yourself.
it is.
Yeah.
I say now that when I think about it, I'm like, if there's no return for my investment, the return is for me now is a return of investment for my soul. I've been investing so much into this, but I love it. And so, yeah, that will just have to happen until we figure things out and try to monetize our brand, our music in a different way to get, some of the investment back. But yeah, and I'm hoping that is something that everyone figures out eventually because the streams ain't paying.
No, dude. Oh yeah, we probably like what 222.
Yeah. It's something, something. But we do learn from it. And I know we're not the only ones that are going through that struggle. And hopefully one day, it'll get better. I'm hoping. But we find ways. We find ways on how to fund ourselves. That's another topic, I feel. That's a
Yeah,
big topic that we can all talk about one day.
dude, investing in yourself is always gonna do good for you, no matter
Mm,
what, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true. We got to eat too. So
That's the only thing, you know?
you gotta feed your baby, you gotta feed your
Yeah.
partner, everybody needs to eat.
Yeah.
But it's all good. It'll work out. I'm trying to stay in a positive mindset nowadays. It's kind of hard sometimes, I do admit, but
Well, that's
which
that's where your why and your mission statement comes to play, right? It's like this the thing that reminds you like why you do it, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Which is obviously the self-love that we need to, practice more, which brings me to the next question with self-love. Like, how do you handle those moments when you have self-doubt or if you have any creative blocks? Like, are there any like specific strategies that you use to sort of overcome those kind of obstacles and just keep your creative energy flowing, you know?
Yeah. No, I know what you mean because we live like the world today, it's like numbers are on the forefront of everything, right? Like streams, followers, likes, the amount of reviews on something that you want to buy, like on Amazon. Like numbers are kind of like not really controlling everything in a way, but like on top of that, like everyone in the world is so accessible, you know? So like that could easily lead to like comparing yourself to other people, you know, and I think that's so detrimental, like, to your creativity, or I know it is for mine, and because I feel like you're placing, like, a barrier on yourself almost, like, "Oh, I gotta be as good as this person or better than this person," when really it's just gonna cause compare and despair, like, heighten your insecurities, it's going to block your creativity, right?
Mm,
So, this sounds so cliche, but if you just focus on yourself, like, on your own work, whatever makes you feel good, what makes you feel like you're contributing something to the ether, you know, like just keep doing that because you never know like how your art or your music can affect like the entire landscape of music and art of movies, you know?
right.
Yeah,
Yeah. You
like the butterfly
focus
effect. Yeah.
focusing on yourself. Right. Like my podcast, Focused.
Yeah, focus. See, was
Which
there.
is the new name of my new release. That's why we're doing this mini podcast. I feel like just focusing on you, focusing on your craft, focusing on your passion, right? Just
Mhm.
understanding your true meaning of why you're brought here on this earth. Like, what is your purpose? And I feel
Yeah.
like, right, you just finding out what your purpose is and then just going from there and just reminding yourself of that too, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what keeps my energy flowing too. And I find that when that's blocked and I don't remember why I'm here or like I just get distracted from other things, that's when my creative energy is just like shut. I get blockage and I don't know how to write. I don't know how to like, not that I don't know how to sing. It's like I don't get in the mood to
Yeah.
sing or, right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I
when
was
you get
doing
back
that
into
the other
that,
day. Huh?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
the
And when
day
you
and
get
the day before that, I was like, "I'm the shit." Like, I got this.
I
You
was
know?
listening to
And
your
then the day
music. You
after,
are. You are.
yeah.
Distant was like one of my favorites that I
Oh,
listened to
thank you,
on there.
girl.
Yeah, I love that one.
You just
And I feel like it's a lot harder for you. And I know everyone has their own struggles, their own lives that they have to balance. But with you, obviously, mostly parenting too, like that can get very demanding to balance with your music career, like we were talking, right? Is there anything that you can share, tips or advice for any fellow independent artists out there like that may be facing similar challenges in finding the time to be in the creative zone and continue that creative pursuit, like what while you're balancing and nurturing your family? Like, is there any tips that you can share with us?
Let's see, one thing that I've struggled with that I'm trying to overcome is there's this one Fiona Apple quote that comes to mind. She said, like, she was proud of herself for getting into a place where she could tell herself, like, don't wait until you're perfect, you know? And I'm like, I can relate to that so much because, like, once I started, like, what you're talking about, to shift, like, my perspective on what music really means to me and nothing, like, outside of myself, like, because I used to want to be perceived as, like, cool and, oh, yeah, I do music, you know, just dumb shit like that. But when I sat down and thought about, like, my why, like, why I have to make music, like, dude, that changed my whole view on creating more music and keeping my creativity flowing. It's like my own way of reworking my inner struggles and putting it out into the world, like, as something new. You know, it's like it's become like my own therapy for parents who are, like, struggling to, like, maintain their time. Like, dude, just be easy on yourself, man. You know, keep it fun, be inclusive. You know, incorporate, like, your kid into your studio sessions. You know, like I said, like, don't keep it separate. Try to just make it an everyday practice. You know, just keep it fun. Because I
Love
noticed, like,
that.
the less fun it is, the less music is, like, a form of play, the more I'm like, "Ah, this is a chore for me."
Right.
Means yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. And it reminds us too, even if we don't have kids, to feed our inner child, right?
Yeah.
To allow and embrace creativity. Because when you get into that whole grind mode, you forget why or what you love to do, your passion. And sometimes that can lead you into a place, like a dark place. I've gone there before, and that's a whole nother topic. But, you kind of get into this like, wow, I kind of lost myself there. I need to find myself again. I need to find what my inner child, what little Farah, what little Akari wanted to do when she was a kid. That's who
Mhm.
we really are, deep inside, but with responsibilities today.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But I totally I love that. I've always told myself, I'm like, when I do have kids, I'm gonna bring them on the road with me, go
Yeah.
on tour, right? Be surrounded with music, because that's what brings me alive. And I'm grateful to have that opportunity when I was a kid with my parents, because they were in a band, and I was surrounded by my aunt. She used to sing too, and a lot of my family does, but they're not really like aspiring singers, right? But the fact that I saw my mom and dad doing that as a child, I'm like, I want to do that. I can do
Mhm.
that. Let me go and do it. So I did. Started in high school, or really elementary school, I would say, and then just went on from there. I was a dancer, and then I started to get into writing music and singing. And it just brings me alive. But when I take that out, when I take that away, it makes me feel lost.
Nothing makes sense, huh?
Right. Nothing makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the heck am I doing? Like, I'm working to pay bills, but that doesn't make me happy. Money doesn't really, it makes me be able to stay alive, but it doesn't make me happy.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
You
that's
you don't
really
feel
important.
enriched, right?
Mm.
Yeah, dude. You
That's
just
when you
gotta keep
circle
going.
back and you're like, now I got to focus back on me. Focus.
Yeah, it's just
Um,
like life is about experiences, you know?
mhm.
And for you, you got to experience, like, the fulfillment and the happiness of, like, being around music and having your family travel with you and, you know, having music be a part of all that. Like,
Mm.
that's a life experience that work will never be able to, like, fulfill for you, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Yeah. I guess when we talk about like work, it's like you either have a
Work
day
outside of
job
it. Yeah.
outside of music. Yeah.
Yeah.
Music, I feel like if I'm working in music, it doesn't even feel like work,
Yeah.
because
And that's how you
that's
know.
right. That's how you know that's what you're born to do. That's
Mhm.
where your heart is. Because I could literally be up until like 4 o'clock in the morning I don't care if I don't get enough sleep the next morning. I'm like, I'm tired, but I feel really great because I get to listen to what I recorded last night, and it's like fulfilling. Like it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing how like music can affect like your perception of time so much?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're doing something fun, then all of a sudden like 5 hours feels like 30 minutes. You
Yeah. Not enough time. 5 hours is
Yeah,
not enough.
not enough time. Yeah. It's
No. No.
and we
Yeah.
gotta keep on, you know, going that past.
Exactly. And you're a guitarist as well. You play. What role does that play in your self-care routine? Like, do you have any like specific genres or song that you turn to like for inspo, or just both personally and as a parent? Like, is there, obviously you did say you play Baby Shark to keep your child amused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got to be a part of it too, you know, like,
Mm.
and like if he's interested in an instrument, I'm like, my stoke level is just through the roof. I'm just like, yeah, you want to touch a guitar, play it, like, go ahead and like, touch the strings. I'm all about it because I'm just learning guitar myself. Like I play guitar so I can, because it helps me to like write songs. I wouldn't like call myself like, oh yeah, I'm a guitar player, I shred, I know the basics.
Still a guitarist, I would say.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that's still amazing though. I definitely cannot play. I tried and my fingers were like super, I guess, what is it? The sore, like from the strings. Like it gets
Yeah.
really sore. And I'm
Mhm.
like, I don't know if I want to play today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
you
it's
do
not
need
for everyone.
patience. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Definitely not. But, maybe one day pick back
Yeah.
up.
You
Cut
can
my
always
my
learn.
long ass nails. Like I have long nails too. That doesn't really help.
That's so pretty. That's like a life that I had to just I can't have pretty nails anymore.
Was that a part of your self-care? Like, did you always do nails because lady, like you want to have nice nails or long nails?
I always just had short black nails because I grew up in like the emo pop punk scene and still hasn't
Mm,
really left me. So
right.
yeah, I just always have short black nails.
I love black.
Yeah.
Regardless, maybe my next fill I'm gonna have black nails and I'll show you what they look like. Because I was looking at them, I'm
Yes.
like, I always wear black. I wasn't in the punk emo scene, but like I just love wearing black because it just matches with everything. And black is a mood. It's a mood
Yeah.
itself, right?
Kat Von D,
Kat Von D, yeah, yeah.
yeah, she wears nothing but black. Like she doesn't wear any other colors. She's like dedicated her whole life to just wearing black.
I didn't know that. I actually
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know her that well. I all I know is that she has a makeup line, and I used to wear her like mascara or something. This is from Sephora. That's how I know how I
Mhm.
knew who Kat Von D was. And is she a tattoo artist as well?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know too much about her, but that's like one thing that stood out to me like about her was like, oh wow, she really decided to just wear only black like for the
Mm,
rest of her life.
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I like try to be as colorful as I can, but there's days when you're like, nah, put on a black tee, black
Yeah.
jeans, black sneakers. I'm good. It's a
Yeah,
whole
black
mood.
makes you feel good, dude.
It's weird because I discovered, I guess I don't know if this is factual or not, but apparently black attracts energy and it will hold the energy in there. And so if you're energetically sensitive, did I say that wrong? I said energetically sensitive. It kind of just clings on to you because you're wearing black. I don't know if this is true or not. I'm trying to see if that is true because I do wear a lot of black, and I will let you know if I do
Well,
see a
there are
difference.
such things as like color therapy, so I don't see why like
Yeah,
that wouldn't be a thing.
right. Like I try to wear, if I'm wearing all black, I'm like, at least let me just try to incorporate like different colored undies. Maybe that will help.
Yeah.
Like the reds or like the yellows, the orange, right? Like those colors. I think yellow was like something to do with like energy, like being more energized. And then red was more of like confidence. So if you even like have red lipstick, I think that makes a difference. Yeah.
Yeah,
um,
I gotta incorporate like more color therapy into my life, you know. I think
yeah.
yeah. I need a
L-
good red lipstick.
A good red lipstick is
Stop it.
something, yeah, you just need to have it. I had a hard time with red lipstick for a while, but then it was like, okay, let me just try to find one really good one. I think it was like L'Oreal. Was it L'Oreal? I think it was L'Oreal. Something like that. And it's really like, it's not as, it's like a gloss type
Mhm.
texture. It's not like a matte one. I hate wearing matte lipsticks. I don't really like it too much. It just gets super dry on me. Anyways, as we talk more about your journey, we're just gonna wrap this up at the end here. I know that you know, are an inspired artist, and with that comes your parenting as well. What message or advice would you like to share with those who are pursuing their passions and they're juggling the responsibilities of parenthood and the competitive world of independent music? And I know we kind of touched on that, but this is more so of like being an independent artist.
Yeah, being a parent and an independent artist, I'd say just keep it fun, you know, like make it like play. I feel like children, they're always looking for something to be inspired by. So if you just keep it simple and just be that for them, like for me, like at least that's enough. And you know, just keep your focus simple because a lot of people like that aren't musicians, maybe it's in my head, but they kind of tend to look down on it like, oh, that's not really a career path. It's not a very like you're not going to make money being a musician or an artist, but dude, music is like the closest thing we have to magic, the closest thing we have to like anything ethereal in this world. So like there's no shame in wanting to dedicate your life to it. And don't let like anyone else like make you think that.
Love that. And it's so true. Who do you know that doesn't listen to music? Exactly.
I hate
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So the fact that when people think about this, and I know it's like it's a common thing, especially in like the Asian families. When I was growing up too, I had my parents, obviously they were musicians, but the fact that I was trying to pursue that and wanting that to be my main income, wanting that to be my main priority, it was looked down upon because they couldn't see where that money was coming from. They couldn't see like where or how I'm going to be able to sustain myself. And I get that. We do need to have at least good education, knowledge. Can't afford a college, at least, try to educate yourself, because now in the working world, if you do have that experience, if you want to work in music, at least having that experience, being around the studio, being around musicians, creatives, learning from them, that's just a better way of looking at pursuing music or understanding how to get there. And I know I am a living proof that you can make money outside of streaming music, obviously. But I know when I was streaming during the pandemic, I started doing that, and that was a source of income for me. And I didn't see that until the end of the year. When you're accumulating, like, I'm like, how much did I make? What did I really? That's
Oh, dude, it's the
what?
best feeling ever making money from music. Do
Yeah,
I
it's
got paid
like,
for this?
right. Now I'm paying. I remember I didn't have this mic before. This is the newer one. You can see the tag is still on there. Oops. But I had the older version. I remember when I first got it, it's like, I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going to buy this mic and we'll see where that goes. And it did pay off. It was like the whole experience was better. I could utilize it for podcasting. I could use it for my content creation. Most of the time I was using it for my streaming, but I learned how to use this mic. I was understanding what the sound was like, and like just being able to record myself with my own studio time, recording music. It just like going back to self-love and pouring into you, pouring into your passion and focusing back on you. As long as you know what that is and where you're going, it's like it's fulfilling. And we'll find ways. We'll find ways how to pick up gigs here and there and make money, and eventually we'll be able to make a full-time gig just monetizing your brand, you, Acari. Speaking of that, you have any projects coming up soon?
Yes, I'm releasing a new song next month.
That's exciting. What is it called? Do we know?
It's so the song is called Paranoid.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm trying something new because like as an independent artist, my budget is very, very small. So I'm trying like different ways to approach the release. I'm incorporating the use of AI to help me come up with some artwork, instead of like hiring like a graphic designer or like an illustrator, even though like eventually that's where I want to go to, is have like original illustrated art for my music and my artwork. This time I'm kind of just changing it up a bit because I know that's just not possible for me at the moment. Yeah, I reached out to this like super awesome illustrator and they're like, yeah, for an original piece of art, it's going to cost you about $500 to $900 if you want it also animated. And I was like, shit.
I know. I know.
So this new project is about like trial and error, just trying different approaches and still, putting out music like what Fiona Apple said, not waiting until it's perfect, just continuing to put something out. But yes, my next song is Paranoid. It's coming out next month.
Exciting. Exciting.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you're able to be uncomfortable with your process and taking advantage of the AI, which has its pros and cons. I like that. Shout out ChatGPT. I also understand that it does take a lot of money to invest in other creatives to create for you and with you. It's not like we don't want to. It's like, as an independent artist, it's coming out of your own pocket and sometimes you can't afford it. So do we pay someone to mix our music instead, or do we pay an artist to create our single artwork for us? So one day I know I want, to make sure I give back to the community and other creatives too. I guess a better way of doing that is collaborating with other artists, and hopefully you'll be able to find ways to do that too in the future. But AI is always great, and I wish you all the best in your new release, and I'm excited to hear it next month. What date is there a date that it comes out on? In April. Yeah,
sometime in April.
Okay.
I'm not releasing the actual date yet, but yeah, sometime in April.
I get that.
Be on the lookout for it. And what about you?
I kept changing.
Coming out.
Focus is out March 29th.
Please?
Initially it was supposed to be out the 22nd, but the single artwork took a little bit of time for me. That's okay. And it made more sense to be this month because it is coming up as International Women's Day. Also, happy Women's Month. I feel like it's important for me to have at least a female come on to the podcast. Thank you for joining me today. And I think it just shines the light more on, artists and individuals who don't have enough exposure. So we can help support each other, and that will give us exposure to, each other's communities, and that will just help us push forward. And yeah, we're excited to hear your new single.
Yeah.
How do we find you on socials?
I'm Acari.music on Instagram, Acari.music on TikTok. I'm on Threads. I'm on Facebook also. I'm on all the things.
You have to be nowadays.
That's Acari, ACARI. Find me everywhere.
Okay, perfect. Remember that. ACARI.music. All right. Well, thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. So nice to actually meet you and see you and talk to you.
Likewise. We will meet one day in person because I definitely need to make my way out there to Bay Area. So I will tap you and let you know.
If I'm ever in your area too.
Yes, please. Please let me know. Please let me know. But thank you. This is Focused, the mini podcast series by yours truly. And this is Acari. Bye, guys.